Hi, I'm Realtor Sarah Morrow with South State Peak Realty. My guest today on the 11th episode of Property Time is Misty Flannery, owner of Valcour Roofing and Exteriors. Misty is from Lyman, Colorado, lives in Loveland, and she boasts 6 years in the roofing industry. She runs a very reputable female-owned business in a male-dominated industry. Inside of her commitment to guiding clients through the daunting process of filing insurance claims and replacing their roofs, she lives by the motto, people before profits. Misty believes that doing the right thing for her customers leads to great experiences and also to profitable longevity. She has extensive experience in customer service and training. She's a member of both the Loveland and the Estes Park Chambers of Commerce, and she holds membership also in the Masters Networks of Northern Colorado. Misty is a proud 4-H partner. She's involved in Habitat for Humanity. She volunteers also with the Kawasaki Kids Foundation. And in her spare time, she enjoys DIY projects, remodels, and cowboy action competitive shooting. One of our very most basic human needs is to have a trusted cover over our heads. So why not meet that need with an expert like Misty? Thank you so much for being here today, Misty.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Let's jump right in. So we're talking about roofing today. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your company, your role there, what you love about your job, and what you guys do?
Okay. Like she said, my name is Misty Flannery. I own Valcour Roofing and Exteriors. We are based out of Loveland, Colorado. And we are established on the principle of putting people before profits. And so we really focus on customer experience, making sure that everybody that we work with leaves us better than they came to us.
Awesome. I love that. And I love that you're a female business owner here in Northern Colorado in a very male-dominated industry. Is that a challenge, or do you like it, or what's that like?
I love it. I think we bring something different to the table because we enter every situation with a ton of humility. We really focus on hearing the person on the other side of the table from us instead of going in with our own agenda.
Fabulous. So what's the one thing that you really want customers to know? I assume you said most of your customers are homeowners, is that correct?
Yes, most of them are homeowners. Most of them have never had a roof replaced before. So the most important thing that I would like for them to know is that it's important to have your roof inspected regularly. Most manufacturers recommend that you have it inspected at least once a year. That way, if there is anything that is deteriorating or decaying on it, we can catch it long before it becomes an issue. A lot of times it's just a matter of sealing up a couple vents or something like that. It's not a big deal to be able to prevent big costs further down the line.
Wow. Okay, so just like your car or your teeth, you want to make sure you're doing the regular maintenance. You're checking, are we checking shingles? What kind of components are we checking?
We are checking, primarily we check shingles, and then we also check any of the ventilation or pipes that are up there. A lot of those have rubber components that break down with our hot Colorado sun and our dry climate. And so we're able to seal them up with a little bit of extra silicone to make sure that you don't have leaks in the future.
So sealing up small leaks obviously prevents giant overhauls 2-3 years down the line.
Yes. A small leak on your roof can be $100,000, $200,000 worth of damage inside of your home if it's not stopped right away.
That's a good point. So costs are rising very rapidly and very heavily. And I imagine for some, getting the roof that they really need is either prohibitively expensive or often deferred. Can you talk a little bit about how are we to save even little bits of money? I really like the idea of regular maintenance, but are there ways to not have it be a $10,000, $20,000 endeavor?
The biggest thing that I want to stress is it's important to make sure that you hire the right contractor when it's time to do it. Because saving a little bit of money up front can cost you a ton of money in the long run. You want to make sure that the contractor that you hire is licensed in your jurisdiction, that they are insured. You also want to make sure that they have a brick and mortar building here where you can go and you can physically talk to them if you have an issue. There's a lot of fantastic products on the market that are made specifically for Colorado weather. We've got a lot of products that have hail resistance and then also have some fire ratings that will prevent future damage that are going to save you money in the long run. Up front, I just want to stress it's really important not to cut corners, because if you do cut corners, in the long run, it's going to cost you a lot more.
Got it. So can you talk a little bit then about, you mentioned like the team or the person. Not a lot of us know a roofer like we might know a realtor. Tell us what sets Valcore and that team apart. Are all roofers similar? Can I assume they have insurance and a license, or should I really just...
You really need to check. They are not all similar. My team is all hired. We hire based on our core values, and we only bring people on that are 100% bought into the idea of putting people before profits. So when you meet with a member of the Valcour team, you know that they are going to have your best interest at mind, because they know they are never going to get in trouble by me for taking care of their clients. Where if they make a decision that is in the best interest of the company, but maybe not in the best interest of the homeowner, that is something that I am not okay with. So that's one thing that sets us apart.
And if I am just too broke to get my roof replaced, what do I do? What can you do for me?
So we have a couple of options. One is we do offer financing. We've got some great low-cost financing options. So if you are in desperate need of a new roof and you haven't had a storm recently close to where you live, we do have financing that we offer. The other thing too is Colorado gets so much storm damage. We have wind, we have hail. Most of those are covered by insurance. So that's another low-cost option where in most cases the homeowner is only liable for the cost of their deductible. They don't have to pay for the whole entire roof.
So that's a good question. Let's say my roof is real bad. Like I've seen some homeowners that want to sell or they want to buy or they're holding out, and their roof's 20 years old and they're holding out for that hailstorm. Like, talk to me about, is that really worth doing? I assume in this sort of a climate, to an extent, yes. But are these regular maintenance things really helping at some point or no?
That's an excellent question. They do help prevent leaks, but the regular deterioration of your roof, a 20-year-old roof has been through the hottest, driest climate outside of the desert that the United States has to offer. So there's some things that maintenance can't help with. But yes, holding out for a hailstorm is not the worst idea. But if you want to sell your house in the next 2 or 3 years, I'm not going to put money on the fact that your specific house will get damaged.
Sure. So in this particular climate, holding out for a hailstorm might be a good idea, but it really depends on where you are, how old it is.
Yes, and primarily it depends on how long you plan on staying in your house. If you're looking to sell, then you probably don't have the luxury of waiting for a hailstorm. If you don't have any current leaks and you plan on staying in your house for the next 3 to 5 years, chances are really, really good you're going to have hail or at the very least damaging winds, to where insurance will help offset the cost of replacing that roof.
And now doing so is pretty time sensitive, I assume.
Absolutely. That is one of the most important things that I want to stress to everybody. If your neighborhood has extensive wind damage, or if you have hail more than 3/4 of an inch or an inch, or let's say you're out of town. We had this happen a couple years ago. A storm hit Fort Collins, 4th of July weekend. So many people were out of town, didn't even know we had a hailstorm.
Oof.
And when that happened, you've only got 365 days with most insurance companies to file a claim.
Gotcha.
So if you don't file a claim in a timely manner, insurance is not responsible for paying to replace that roof.
It's like if this house could talk, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But don't just file a claim just because you heard there might be hail. What I always suggest is that you have a roofer that come out and take a look at it. Make sure that they show you photos of what they showed on the house, what they found. And if they feel like there's enough damage to file a claim, at that point, go ahead and reach out to your insurance agent and let them know what you are up against and follow their recommendations.
And you've got tons of experience with that, right? Like you help people kind of figure out the claims situation, how to file, when to file.
Absolutely. We guide you through every step of the process. A lot of times the insurance part is the most scary part for homeowners.
Yeah.
Because they've never done this before. It's a big deal getting a new roof replaced. Our team guides you through every step of the process. We've got a full in-house team that works directly with your insurance company. When you have an insurance adjuster come out, we request that we get to be there on site when they come. That way we are sure that we see everything that they see and they see everything that we made note of as well.
And you guys all know the same deadlines. It's not up to me to manage.
Exactly. We step in and we will have the homeowner as included as the homeowner wants to be. But if they want to just walk away and leave it all up to us, we are more than glad to just take the reins and run with it and keep them in the loop, of course. But they don't have to stress about making sure that everything happens when it needs to happen or how it needs to happen.
You mentioned the winds, and I know this is a very current hot topic. Well, fire's the hot topic, pardon the pun. But winds are related, right?
Yes.
Like, so it's been hail, it's been winds. Like, can you just tell us some of what you're seeing for claims? Like, are shingles being ripped off frequently, or?
Yes, we've actually got a lot of homeowners that we're working with in northern Colorado that have lost winds. Over the last 3 years, we've had 3 record-setting wind dates, and all of them have happened since December 15th.
This year?
This year.
Wow.
So we've got a lot of wind damage.
Yikes. And people are like, what are they losing? Like the ventilation you said, the shingles, things are flying, corners are flying, like what's happening?
Primarily what happens is it detaches the shingles. A lot of times the shingles break and actually come off.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes it just detaches and lifts, and then that allows water, snow, and dirt to get up underneath those shingles and eventually penetrate into the house.
Got it. So it can look fine from our very uneducated naked eye down here as consumers, but you really got it.
We get up there and we can find
the gaps.
Yes. And sometimes we'll get up there. The best inspections for us, honestly, are the ones where we're able to get up there, look at it, come down and tell the homeowner, you have no damage. Your roof looks fine.
Those are the days that you're like,
yeah, this is a big win.
Yeah.
This is a big win because we know that if we're providing honest assessments, people are going to tell their friends and family.
Totally.
If we're dishonest, people are still going to tell their friends and family. It's just not the story we want them to tell.
It's funny how that works.
Yes.
Cool. Well, I just have 1 or 2 other questions. Like, you've been so helpful. I'm curious about layering and layers. Just like we see layers of flooring here in especially Old Town Longmont, we see layers of shingles. And I've always thought it was fine. But like, I also was told to do a job right and not just smear, icing on a mud pie. Like, can you talk about that?
So up until about 20 years ago, most building codes allowed you to put additional layers of shingles on top of roofs. And maybe it wasn't necessarily a building code written in there, but they didn't require building permits.
So it wasn't really a violation?
It wasn't really a violation. So sometimes homeowners would hire their next door neighbor or their brother-in-law or somebody that had installed a roof to come on and put a roof on. And to save time, he wouldn't tear off the old shingles. There's a few problems with that. Number one is that every layer of shingles is very, very heavy. So when you've got 3 or 4 layers of shingles sitting on a roof, it's all of that weight. And then when we get those 1 and 2 foot snows, then you add that in addition to, and it's just a lot of pressure that you're putting on the structure of your home. It's going into your walls, into your foundation. It's not good for it. But primarily, we will always rip off all the way down to the decking every single time because it voids the manufacturer's warranty if there is anything besides underlayment underneath the shingles.
Oh, okay. So even if it's 1 layer, you don't play that game?
Absolutely. We don't. We do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, regardless of who's looking, regardless of what building codes tell us we need to do. We are always going to build the roof the right way to do it.
One thing we haven't talked a lot about, and we have a few extra minutes here, can you talk about products? Like, I don't know a ton about it, but I've noticed, just in selling some new build homes recently that like, there's 10 or 12 types of shingles, and then you get in the mountain homes, and there's another 10 or 12 options. And can you talk a little bit, obviously it's a huge industry, but can you talk a little bit about like what people are buying, why they're buying it, what's hail resistant?
It's so neat. Like, I kind of geek out on this stuff because there's a lot of really fantastic products on the market. For the last 4 or 5 years, you've been hearing a lot about impact resistant shingles. Most insurance companies will give you a discount on your homeowner's insurance when you install a Class 4 impact-resistant shingle. The best ones on the market actually have rubber polymers woven into them.
Wow.
What that does is it keeps the shingle very malleable, clear down to 0 degrees. So when a hailstone hits it, it just bounces off.
Cool.
Just like a trampoline almost.
Love it.
Yes. So there's a lot of the normal looking asphalt shingles that actually have rubber in them that are going to save you money on your homeowner's premiums.
Engineers, they're so genius.
It is, and there's other really cool ones that are hitting the market now. There's a product that is manufactured in Texas called F-Wave that is made entirely out of composite materials. It's a designer shingle, so it looks very cool on the house, but it actually comes with a 5-year hail warranty. The other thing is it's self-healing, so if it gets scratched by tree branches or something like that, on the next warm day, the sun hits it and it's going to heal all of those scratches.
Wow.
Yes.
Cool.
And one other that is super cool, especially for everybody that was affected by fires, you know, in Colorado, we love our mountain homes. We love the wood roofs. They give them character. Insurance companies, not so much. They hate those wood roofs. Your insurance premiums are through the roof.
Yeah.
But there's a fantastic company based out of Denver called Cedar, and they make a product that looks just like a wood roof. However, it's made out of polyurethane foam.
Whoa.
Which makes it impact resistant, so it's safe against hail, but it also is self-extinguishing. So you can rub a torch over it and these shingles are not going to burn. They put themselves out. They never catch fire.
That's crazy.
Isn't that amazing? It's a great option
Yeah.
for people that are in fire danger areas.
Are we talking like double the cost, quadruple the cost, something in there?
Right about 3 times the cost of a regular asphalt shingle. Well worth the investment if it's your forever home, or if it's one of these super cool historical homes that the character is built into having that wood roof.
Yeah, and the safety of that and the look of that.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
It's gorgeous.
Nice. Well, you have been so helpful. I really appreciate all this information about roofs. I know I'm someone who has to get thinking about this very soon on my own old home, and a lot of my clients are going to be very grateful. We will be sure to use Valcore. Again, Misty.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's the proper tea.